How many snaps did they run in the 14 personnel?
That's only for us.
100% of the snaps.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome into 14P Fantasy. I am your host, Justin Wright. Today, we are talking wide receivers, start or sit for Week 15, Week 1 of the fantasy playoffs. This is part 2. If you missed part 1, go check it out. We got 6 other names there. Before we get into it, remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit the bell, like the video, drop questions, comments, all that kind of stuff, obviously. If you're not sure about your lineups, we'll help you get ready. All right, let's get into it. Number 1 on the list, we have DJ Moore versus Buffalo, and I get that Cam Newton is bad. Cam Newton is not a good quarterback at this point in his career, especially when it comes to supporting fantasy wide receivers. But I'm going to play the game script on this one. Obviously, the Bills do not have Tre'Davious White to cover DJ Moore. That's a huge piece of this. But Buffalo should beat, I anticipate them beating the crap out of the Panthers. The Panthers are just not a very good football team. They've completely fallen apart since, their cakewalk of a first month. So if they're down, 2 scores the majority of this game, DJ Moore is going to see a lot of volume. He's seen 10 plus targets each of his last 2 weeks or 2 games he has played. So I'm going to bank on that. And when you look at the rest of the fantasy landscape, guys are out everywhere, missing quarterbacks, dropping value, missing running backs, guys on defense. It's chaos in terms of COVID. So DJ Moore is healthy right now, healthy-ish, coming with a hamstring injury, but I'm not too worried about his. You got to play DJ Moore if you have him. That's really what I'm saying here. Moving on, we have Van Jefferson versus Seattle. Van Jefferson is a very high-end flex play. He's borderline a wide receiver too. Without Odell Beckham Jr., who has no chance of getting cleared this week, he did test positive. Van Jefferson is going to go back to seeing, likely 7 plus targets like he did the first couple of games when OBJ was not up to speed and they had lost Robert Woods. So if I'm looking at Van Jefferson, who's on a 3 straight games with a touchdown streak, a chance to see 10 plus targets against the pretty mediocre secondary, I am good playing Van Jefferson. You got to fire him up. Stafford in a divisional game. This is going to be a tightly contested one. The Rams are going to be passing a lot. So, fire him up. It is Van Jefferson season yet again. Moving on, we have Darnell Mooney versus the Minnesota Vikings. And Mooney comes in as a wide receiver too. That is with no Allen Robinson. Justin Fields is back. And, weather should be better this week. So Darnell Mooney, he's 2 back-to-back dud games. Don't get me wrong. It's concerning. But now we have Justin Fields back. The offense should be a little bit more dynamic. Hopefully we see less of Jimmy Graham, more of Darnell Mooney being featured. And when they feature him hard. He has a chance to see 10 plus targets. And that's what I'm chasing again, when I'm just looking for guys that are healthy, guys that are active, and players that can take a screen to the house at any point in time. That is exactly what Darnell Mooney is. The deep ball is going to be there with Justin Fields. Expect some shots to Mooney as the Bears are trailing most likely because we're missing half the defense, and I say we as a Bears fan. So it's just game script should be in his favor. Moving on to the other side of that game, we have KJ Osborn versus the Chicago Bears, and Kirk Cousins has been really, really damn good this year, and KJ Osborn has been a benefactor of that. He has seen 6 plus targets in 6 games this year. He has broken 14 points in 5 of those 6 games. Last week, obviously, he did it, but was bailed out by a deep touchdown on a probable pass interference call, but it wasn't called. It stood. KJ Osborn hit. I expect the same thing this week. He's going to get peppered with targets with Adam Thielen expected to be out again. Keep in mind, if Thielen is in, KJ Osborn is not a flex play for me. He's off my radar. But as long as Thielen is out, KJ Osborn should have the volume and the opportunity to finish as another high-end flex. If I'm deciding between him and Van Jefferson, I'm going to take Van Jefferson. Let me be clear. I want Jefferson in that matchup. But if I'm deciding between KJ Osborn and Dwayne Eskridge, I am playing KJ Osborn. Eskridge right now is going to be thrust into a premier role, most likely with Seattle. They may fill the Tyler Lockett void with a mix of wide receivers, but Eskridge has been playing more and more. Each of the last 5 weeks, his snap count has increased. He's going to play over, 70% of snaps most likely for the first time in his career. He has 4 speed, and for DFS, he's dirt cheap, so keep that in mind. You think he's like $3K over on DraftKings. Interesting. But here's the thing. We know DK Metcalf is going to be shadowed by Jalen Ramsey. Last time they played, Metcalf only had 5 targets. So, I'm playing DK, but the volume concerns are there, which means they're going to have to look elsewhere, which means Dwayne Eskridge, maybe Penny Hart, and Gerald Everett as well all see a bump. But Dwayne Eskridge, if I got to pick one from that team to flex, he is one of my favorite deep league flexes this week. And to close us out, we have Tyler Boyd versus Denver. Tyler Boyd is the clear 3 in this offense. He's not a big play guy. He's not a touchdown threat. And the volume really hasn't been there. So it's just been uninspiring. Last week came in under 10 points, back-to-back weeks again. It's the T. Higgins and Jamar Chase and Joe Mixon show. That's really what this is. At best, Tyler Boyd is looking at 12 points. And then you mix in the matchup of Bryce Callahan in the slot, basically shadowing Tyler Boyd everywhere he goes in the slot. It's just a bad spot. In the playoffs, I don't want to trust Tyler Boyd. I'm going to play Eskridge, Osborn, Van Jefferson, all of them over Tyler Boyd comfortably. If you got Tyler Boyd, this is a week to sit him down like it has been, 90% of the season. All right, that's all I got for you. Remember, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like the video, drop questions, comments, so we can get you ready for Week 15 here. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.
How many snaps did they run in the 14 personnel?
That's only for us.
100% of the snaps.